Remember when asking an AI for a picture felt like playing the lottery? You'd ask for a cat on a mat and get, I don't know, a cat that was literally fused into the mat? It was wild. Well, I'm happy to say the lottery is officially over. Today, we're diving deep into ChatGPT Images 2.0. This is the AI that, get this, actually thinks before it inks. So let's get right into it.
All right, so here's what we've got on the docket. First, we'll look at the evolution, how we got from weird pictures to masterpieces. Then, we'll peek under the hood to see how it thinks. After that, we're doing a live demo, showing you creation and editing. We'll even cover a strategy for all you free users out there. Then we'll get real about the good, the bad, and the AI ugly. And finally, we'll gaze into our crystal ball and see what might be coming next.
So, first up, how in the world did we even get here? I mean, it seriously feels like just yesterday we were all laughing at AI images with people who had like 7 fingers on one hand, or text that looked like some kind of alien hieroglyphics. The jump from that to this has been unbelievably fast.
Okay, so the real game changer happened on April 21st, 2026. The previous version 1.5 was really all about speed and making basic edits a bit better. But version 2.0, it dropped the GPT Image 2 model, and that changed everything. It wasn't just a small update. This was a complete shift in philosophy. It introduced a reasoning framework, which basically means the AI plans things out before it even thinks about creating the image.
And this quote from OpenAI really it hits the nail on the head. They're basically saying, hey, images aren't just for making things look pretty anymore. They're a language. It's a way to select, arrange, and reveal information, just like a well-written sentence. And that change in mindset is really the engine behind all the cool new features we're about to explore.
So let's talk about how this thing actually thinks. We're going to go under the hood a little bit and see what makes this model feel less like a tool and more like a visual thought partner.
The secret sauce here is this feature called thinking mode. Okay, so imagine an artist. Instead of just throwing paint at a canvas and hoping for the best, a good artist first sketches out a plan, right? They might do some research, they think about the composition. That is thinking mode. It's this whole reasoning layer that plans the entire image before a single pixel ever gets generated. It can even search the web for info if it needs to. It's brilliant.
And this just completely flips the old creative process on its head. The old way was so frustrating, wasn't it? You'd write this super detailed prompt, you'd cross your fingers, hit generate, and then spend the next hour trying to fix whatever mangled thing it spat out. But the new rhythm? It feels collaborative. You give it a general idea, a brief, and it kind of acts like a junior creative, figuring out the details and structure for you before it makes anything.
So what do you actually get from all this thinking? Well, first off, incredible prompt adherence. It actually puts the cat on the mat. And the typographic precision is just stunning. We're talking nearly 99% accuracy, even with really complex scripts like Japanese and Arabic. That alone is a massive deal. Plus, you get amazing spatial awareness, great multilingual support, and these flexible aspect ratios that intelligently reframe your image. It's a truly versatile beast.
Okay, enough talk, right? Let's actually see this thing in action. I'm going to walk you through a pretty simple creation and editing process, just to show you how intuitive and, frankly, how fun this new workflow is.
Okay, so we're going to start with a really common but sometimes tricky request, a basic logo. The prompt is straightforward. Create a 3D logo of the initial W in black and white. And here's the kicker. Make the background transparent for a PNG file. This is exactly the kind of thing that older models would completely mess up.
And boom, just like that, it generates the logo. It's clean, it's 3D, it followed the black and white rule perfectly. Now about that transparent background. Here's a little pro tip for you. Inside the ChatGPT interface, it might look like it's got a transparent background, but for developers using the API, it can sometimes still have a background. So let's call it a your mileage may vary feature, but when it works, it is so cool.
Now, let's do the part that used to be an absolute nightmare, editing. We're going to use the Select tool. Just think of it like a magic paintbrush. You literally just highlight the area of the image you want to change, telling the AI, hey, look right here, this is the spot.
So with that section of the W highlighted, we give it a new command. Change the highlighted section to a metallic gold texture. But, and this is the most important part, we add the phrase, apply subject lock. This is the game changer, people. It tells the AI, hey, you see the rest of this image? I love it. Don't you dare touch it. only change the part I've painted. This totally prevents that awful moment where the AI regenerates the whole thing and ruins all your hard work. And there you have it. The edit is flawless. The shape of the W is locked in, and only the texture changed to that metallic gold. But check this out. We're not done. What if I need this for a YouTube thumbnail or a social media banner? I just ask it to change the aspect ratio to 16:9. And look, it doesn't just awkwardly stretch the image. It intelligently recomposes it, extending the scene to naturally fit the new wider dimensions. That is just so smart.
Okay, this all sounds amazing, but I know what some of you are thinking. What if I'm not paying $20 a month for this? So let's break down the strategy for free users, because there's still a ton of power you can tap into. So here's the deal for free users. The good news is, you still get the amazing core quality. The images will follow your instructions better, the text will look great. The main things you're missing are the number of images, you get about 8 a day, and those fancy features like thinking mode and subject lock. So the strategy is this: you have to be smarter with your prompts from the get-go. Be really descriptive because you don't have that reasoning layer to help you out, and since editing is limited, try to get as close as you can to your final image on the first try. It's all about making those daily credits count.
All right, let's be real. No tool is perfect. So it's time for an honest, balanced look at the good, the bad, and the sometimes, well, the AI ugly truths about ChatGPT Images 2.0. So on the good side, safety is a really big deal here. There's metadata baked into the images to prove they're AI generated, which is important. The text and image accuracy, as I've said, is absolutely revolutionary for real design work. It's also incredibly versatile. It can do photorealism, manga, pixel art, you name it. And features like subject lock finally make editing feel reliable, not like a roll of the dice.
But, it's not perfect. It can still sometimes produce images with that overly polished, slightly uncanny AI look. It also really struggles to perfectly replicate existing copyrighted brand logos, which is probably a good thing, legally. And remember, its core visual knowledge is basically frozen in December 2025, though the web search helps a bit. And finally, if you need super precise grid layouts for a design, you might still have to regenerate it a few times to get it just right.
Okay, so let's wrap this up by looking ahead. What does a tool this powerful mean for the future of creativity? Where do we go from here?
I think the biggest takeaway is this fundamental shift we're seeing. We are moving away from tools that just render an image from a prompt, and we're moving towards systems that can actually participate in the design process with you. It's becoming about synthesis and problem solving, not just simple generation.
And this all brings us to the big question that I think we all need to be thinking about. When an AI can understand what you want, plan a strategy to get there, and then execute it visually, have we just built a better tool? Or have we actually created our first true AI collaborator? It's a question that's going to define the entire next era of creativity.